Wow.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is again Tom Randall from GoldenCare. I want to welcome you to the webinar today. I'm super excited to give this webinar. We're having so much fun out here in the long-term care, short-term care, extended care market overall, because it is really, there's some pretty exciting things happening, and we see a really resurgence coming back to people looking closer at their extended care needs as these baby boomers are getting older. So I'm excited about that. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. You will get the slides for today, so you don't have to sit and take copious notes. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you, if you're not already appointed with GoldenCare, make sure you check out our website at goldencareagent.com. In the upper right here, our phone number is there, of course. We got a great team of people who can help in our marketing side and our licensing side all across the board with our new business, all the way to the end. We make your job as our agents as easy as possible so you can go out and help more people. We have a lot of great tools there as well that will show that closing slide. So I won't do a big dog and pony on that because I want to jump right in. I won't make you stare at my ugly mug very long either, because I do want to jump right in. But I've been here at GoldenCare. I'm in my 27th year, and we've had a lot of excitement. As you know, we helped build and hopefully pioneer the long-term care industry, as a lot of you know. And we've had some great success over the years, especially with some of our carrier partners. Mutual of Omaha has just been a great partner of ours, and we know how important long-term care is. And lately, you know, we've been talking about the fact that whatever you're selling out in the trenches, if you're selling anything to do with extended care, you're doing the right thing. Because I can't stress enough, the reason we're on this call, and most of you have been on other webinars of mine, and you know this is being redundant, but I have to tell you every time I get on how important your job is, how important it is for you to go out, roll up the sleeves a little bit, and help people in America. Because we've got these baby boomers who are all, by 2031, they're all going to be hitting that age of claim, and we're really sitting with a panic situation in America if people don't protect themselves. So we know there's 70% of Americans out there age 65 plus are going to require some type of care, especially when you're looking at these short-term care type products that I'm talking about today. That's not an exaggeration. We know with long-term care, it's like, yeah, that number's closer to 50%, and you could talk all day about stats. But at the end of the day, the way these claim triggers are set up on these short-term care and these home health care only plans, you know, that means it covers a lot of things that long-term care didn't, because it doesn't have that 90-day certification. So remember, it's important, and people will use these plans, and they can help them on the short term. And what we'll show you is that the long term, these plans are incredibly robust, and they can do some great things for your people. So we all know the stats. A lot of people have never had a real discussion about extended care planning. And then we have our COVID stat in there, where we know the having home care and having flexibility and indemnity benefits and even benefits to pay family members can be so important, because people are really afraid of those nursing homes. So we want to have the nursing home protection there for them, because it's just dramatically can kill their finances and their nest egg in a big hurry. But at the same token, we want to make sure we get some home care coverage in there as well. So I think you guys, most of you on the call, probably know all this, and you know about the shifting market. You know that years ago I've been blessed and privileged to be able to go out and talk to so many Americans at live, you know, seminars. I always say webinars accidentally, but actually the good old days where we did live seminars, and we had really, we had over 100 of these, I think, over the years, and my team has done a bunch more. That it got to the point where it's frustrating, because we were selling so much long-term care, and then half the people in there we know, we just can't help you anymore, because the way long-term care has worked, as you know, over the years, is what they've really tightened up on the underwriting, because those are so robust and so great policies. They do some really good things. So again, I won't spend a lot of time on this slide, but I want you to know I am a true believer that short-term care can really save this industry. Right now, we're sitting at the point where we know that the government has made this kind of an entitlement mentality, where people realize that, yeah, if I go into long-term care, you know what, if worst case scenario, the government will take care of me. And unfortunately, that's where they're at. And we know the reality of that is there's a lot of downsides to that I could talk about for 2 hours. But at the end of the day, remember, the long-term care plans out there, they're great for people who are healthy enough to get it. But we know people wait too long, and they just end up saying, oh, now I waited a little bit too long, I'm a little older, now it's pretty expensive, and the underwriting's pretty tough. So that's why short-term care can be such a huge part of this industry. And again, hopefully I'm preaching to the choir on this, but you can see here You know, the different short-term care plans we'll talk about today, the worst thing about them is the name. People think short-term care. I was just at the ILTCI convention and people are out there going, oh, short-term care, does that cover 15 days after you get out of a hospital or something? So they don't realize what it covers and how robust these plans can be. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today to remind you as agents how powerful these new short-term care plans can be out there. So again, limited benefit periods, so you don't have those catastrophic claims that we had with long-term care, and we have much quicker underwriting, as you guys know, and you don't have all those certifications. So the nice thing about short-term care is more agents can go sell it because we don't have to go through extra hoops. You don't have to feel like you have to get a doctorate degree in underwriting. You can go out there with these plans, and they're very simple to put in place, and again, very, very powerful. So hopefully, you know, we talk about it with our trainers here and our marketing team that kind of these new short-term care plans allow us to go back to the future again and kind of be able to help people with their extended care needs like we did with long-term care years ago. And this slide, I've loved our graphics team. Lynn did a great job on this because it really shows where we're at nowadays. You know, we always looked at it going, oh yeah, the life hybrids and the long-term care was at one table. And then we had our home health care only short-term care plans, kind of considered as auxiliary products that are kind of over there on the side saying, well, if you can't get the other stuff, maybe this is something you can look at. And we're really at the point now where short-term care really does deserve a seat at the big boys table. And I really want you to understand that before we get through today even. That's one of the things that's so important for you as agents, because it's hard. When I've been in there long-term care, I've helped design plans. We helped design that mutual plan, you know, so we know how important true traditional long-term care plans are. But these short-term care plans can just do some tremendous things. So again, product availability. Today we're going to talk about Aetna and OmniFlex more. But you can see here a nice bandwidth across the board. We're going to have some states that are just going to be holdouts. They're not going to look at short-term care. So we do have long-term care there, and we do have our home health care only plans that aren't on this slide, of course. Home health care only, and even our True Freedom slide that is in all 50 states. That's a home health care prepaid plan. So we have something for all of your clients in all of your states. But with short-term care, we're spreading the bandwidth pretty nice now. We're in 35 for OmniFlex, hopefully with a couple, 3 more to come. And Aetna is probably stabilized now at 34, but we can see here the availability based on where you're at. So we can help most people in most of the states that you're working with. And again, today we're jumping into a closer look at OmniFlex and Aetna short-term care plan, their recovery care. And I know I ramble really quickly on this, and I got a lot of things to go through, but I do want you to know, we get into the benefits and show you, but most agents already know that. They can throw open a brochure and see what the daily benefits are. So that doesn't affect me as much as some of the differences. And that's what I want to really look at today. And again, I know that you guys are out in the field and some of you have done long-term care. Some of you are on the fence wondering if you're going to sell short-term care. I can't stress enough, there's an easy button out there, you guys. So we have a tool called the InstaPivot tool. I'll show you that later in this webinar today if I have time. Go into a little deeper, but I'll tell you, it's a really super easy tool to use. And basically what I want to show you here today, here's Aetna's recovery care plan. These are the comprehensive short-term care plans. These are 100 times easier to get in place than long-term care. Don't forget that. We're not showing long-term care on this board. They wouldn't even have 1 or 2 on this as a rating with long-term care traditionally, maybe 1, right? What we have in this InstaPivot tool is every single health condition that you could possibly have that covers all the underwriting guides for all these different short-term care and home health care only plans that we have. And what I want to show you today is that, yes, these really comprehensive traditional short-term care plans out here have 8 or 10 that are yes, and that's still way easier than long-term care. That's what I want to stress. On the home health care side, you can see here, super wide net, right? Those home health care only plans, we have Manhattan Life's home care plan that's only 2, it's at 44 on this. There's only 1 knockout. So you can see here that the higher the number, the more lenient it is. And what I want to show you today is Aetna's sitting here at 10. We really stressed when we helped design the OmniFlex plan, we really stressed we wanted to throw the net as wide as possible. So you can see here, it's a 2-tiered underwriting. I'm not going to get into deep details today, but I will tell you, even on the limited plan, you can get 33. It's not quite as many as the home care only, but this has facility and home care for $100 a day max. And for the full-blown OmniFlex plan, it's 21 yes rows out of that out of those 45. So you can see they're more lenient than what we have with the other full short-term care plans out there. So it's one of the reasons that when we helped design OmniFlex, of course, that was one of the things we pushed, is it's all about underwriting. We want to cover as many people as we can, and that was an important part of our design. Okay. So that being said, when we get in here with OmniFlex, you can see here's that limited plan I talked about that has the easier underwriting, and then the OmniFlex Full, which has easier underwriting than Recovery Care, to be frank, but it does have the full benefits available with this one as well, and Recovery Care is over here on the right. So we do have all the carriers. I could close out and show you that we have side-by-sides of all these. Some of you have been on our OmniFlex closer look with finding the niche with the Wellaby plan. We will go out with the GTL plan. We're basically just trying to show side-by-sides a little bit closer for those who want to dig in a little deeper. But at the end of the day, pretty simple stuff. Issue ages 45 to 89 or 50 to 89, very close there. The broad design format, these are indemnity plans. Both of these happen to be facility-based with a home health care rider. And for those of you who know Recovery Care, you know it's actually a hospital indemnity base, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But it's really, they start out mainly with a facility base, and then that hospital indemnity is part of the plan as well. And I'll show you that on the next slide or two. Okay. So facility benefits, again, you'll get these slides, $50 up to $100 on the limited plan. So good night, $3,000 a month still with a super wide underwriting net. And then for the full blown plan, you can go up to $400 per day, and $400 over here on the Recovery Cash as well. So the Recovery Care, excuse me. And then the facility benefit periods, again, 90, 180, 270, 360, medical there. Most people were selling a lot of full year plans, but sometimes we do sell smaller plans, so we have some flexibility there. On the facility elimination periods, you can see 0, 20, 60, 90, 0, 20, or 100. So a lot of flexibility there. We're selling a lot of 0 and 20s on both sides of the board here. Every once in a while, people are looking at Medicare and they're thinking, oh, I'll sell 90-day or something. We're really pushing agents. I want to teach you to go outside the box. Look real close at first day coverage or 20-day. Especially the first day now. I'm going to have a webinar coming up that I'm excited about. I'm going to really start stressing this first day coverage at home and for the facility. So it's up to you, but a lot of flexibility there in the pricing. And again, you can see the little asterisk down here. This does cover hospice care facilities for OmniFlex. The other carriers out there for short-term care don't do that. Excuse me. And elimination periods, you know, these are the deductibles. Flexibility is there. The bed reservation is built into these plans, identical, 10 days. If you go to hospitals, you'll have your bed back. And then we have built-in restoration. The restoration I want to spend a couple extra seconds on. These are the two strongest short-term care plans out there as far as restoration goes, because you notice they're going to restore both the facility and the home health care. And that's really an important thing nowadays. And they'll go up to 2 times max. So basically what it says is if you go into a care situation and you get out of a care situation, which happens a lot more with these type of plans, you can have your days restored as many times as you go on care and get out of care until it gets up to twice what you bought. So if I bought a 360, it would go up to 720 total for your restoration. Huge deal in this. Take off your long-term care hat or turn it to the side. Remember, with claim triggers on these short-term care plans, there's no 90-day certification requirement. So you got a lot of things like you see on your screen here, common things that happen to almost everybody. It's easy for people to imagine that, hey, do you ever see yourself having a knee or a hip replacement? Do you see yourself maybe having a broken bone or an accident where you have something where you have a shorter term recovery? That long-term care probably wouldn't step in, but these short-term care plans will. And the nice part about it, we talk a lot about this, is that you can have your cake and eat it too with these plans, because you can go in there and have a smaller incidence of care, and then you can have that restored after 180 days of not needing care. It'll bump you back up to that full year of coverage on the facility and the home health care side, so that you have the ability to go in there and have a big, longer, maybe a 2-year claim if you use both of those. So we love the catastrophic being covered on top of these shorter cares with these short-term care plans. So the home health care riders, again, these are riders in these plans. You can see there, the limited plan, we have up to $100 per day, up to $300 over here with the OmniFlex Full. And Recovery Care does that weekly thing. Remember, it's really strong in one way that it says, hey, if you're only getting care 3 days a week, it'll pay for the full week, right? but you do have to have at least 3 days of care in a given week for 1 hour, and you'll see that down in the notes down below. So it's a really strong benefit. Recovery Care is one of the leaders in the industry, and again, $1,200 per week. If you average it out daily, it's like $171 a day. But if you had 4 or 5 days of care, it would pay that full week as well. So these are indemnity benefits. Remember, regardless if anybody else is paying, these policies will pay if you go on claim. Benefit periods, same deal. We got 13, 26, or 52 weeks for Recovery Care. And with the OmniFlex, we've got 90, 180, 270, or 360. Again, with home care, we're selling a lot of the full year benefits, but once in a while, you might sell a 90-day to complement an existing long-term care plan maybe, or something like that. So we have flexibility on both these plans. Home health care elimination period, same deal. First day coverage across the board for Recovery Care. We sell about 95% of our plans with first day coverage home care, but there is flexibility here. Again, with OmniFlex, but again, any training you have will tell you, go with 0 day. It's probably the smartest way to go for your clients because they want to stay at home and they want first day coverage. Again, flexibility is there if you need it. Restoration, just a reminder, again, this restores the home care. Some of the other plans out there, if they have restoration, they won't restore their home care. This is one of the best things about Recovery Care, and one of the things we were sure to include in OmniFlex as well. Multiple times you can do it, not just one times like some of the carriers, but multiple times you can restore, up to 2 times what your benefit period is. Okay. Hospital indemnity, we do have that. I'm not going to lie to you, we helped design this OmniFlex plan with Manhattan Life, and they're a great carrier to work with. And we were looking at all the MA plans out there, and we thought it's really nice to have a real simple way to get hospital indemnity benefits. And you can see here, Recovery Care was on top of that years ago. They have a $10 to $400. Every plan must include a $10 for the Recovery Care. That's because they have that as part of their filing. So you have to have at least $10 hospital indemnity. With theirs, it goes for 20 days all the time. Okay, nice 365-day max. And with the hospital indemnity plan here, we have 3, 6, or 20 days, and we have 180-day lifetime max. So again, with ours, you can go up on OmniFlex. I hate to say ours, I'm so used to this plan, I'm sorry, but don't kid yourselves. I always stress our carrier partners, we write a ton of Recovery Care, and we write a ton of GTL, and we know how important those other carriers are, so I don't want you to worry about that. Okay. Spousal premium discounts. Yes, we do have a 10% discount if you get a married couple and both of them are insured, and Recovery Care does not have that. And inflation protection, we know these are long-tail products, so we do have a standout here with OmniFlex again, that they have the 5% simple 2 times max, and I'll show you a graph of that later on in the presentation. Recovery Care, this has been around longer, so they didn't need that. I wouldn't be surprised if Recovery Care Aetna comes out and has an upgrade and they start including an option to have inflation on there. So these plans watch each other closely. As you know, this short-term care market's one of the most exciting things out there. It's really going to take off. So I want you to know that don't worry, these carriers keep adding things on to make it better and better, so you have better choices for your clients across the board. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Recovery Care come out with some inflation option protection soon. Okay. And this is where I talked about at the beginning, short-term care plans are really, the worst thing about them is their name, because people don't realize how powerful they are. Look at both these plans. This happens to be OmniFlex on here, but remember we had $400 per day potentially for the Aetna plan as well. That's $12,000 a month, $144,000 for a single claim. And then when you throw the home health care rider on there, which most people do, it's $9,000 a month, so another $108,000. So with these plans, even without inflation, you can get $252,000 per single claim potentially, and $500,000 with the full restoration. So really powerful, and again, very, very affordable as well. So if we had OmniFlex, we could throw inflation on there. You can see there, now we're talking $24,000 a month or $18,000 a month for home care at claim time, and a whopping $500,000 potentially for a single claim in the future. So you can look at that with the restoration. There's that $1 million policy we talk about. So I just wanted to make sure, if you're new to one of my webinars or new to the short-term care arena, don't let the name short-term care screw you up. We use extended care a lot because we want to teach our people that, hey, don't misinterpret what I'm selling you. These plans are very, very powerful. Okay. So that leads us into one of the big differences here again with OmniFlex. And this is a really unique part of OmniFlex. It's the only plan in the industry right now that has a cash benefit for family members, spouse, family, and friends, that has an ongoing daily benefit. GTL jumped in, as you know, with a one-time lump sum that pays $3,500 for their newer plans. But with the Fast 50, basically this is a standout benefit, right? This is exclusive to OmniFlex, and what it says is at any given time when you go on claim, you're going to have a certain dollar amount that you can get paid, whether this is facility, by the way, or home care. Okay, so at any given time you have a certain amount of indemnity dollar amount daily benefit you could use. But if you want to take half of that daily benefit, you can have that and use it for whatever you want. So you can use it for spouse, family, or friends. So the spouse is a biggie there. We got a lot of married couples and they want to stay at home and they don't want strangers in the house. It's a great peace of mind to have that Fast 50. So I do want you to know it's there. Again, it's a win-win-win because it's 50% of the benefit that you would be paid. And this, unlike long-term care, I want to be totally transparent, this is a number of days you use it. So it takes up one of your 360 days. For example, if you have a home care claim with the 360 days, so you're getting 1 day of care at 50% of the daily benefit. So you don't have a pool of money concept, but still it's a great peace of mind for clients. The carrier loves it because, hey, we'd love to pay out 50%. And if you like it, you can sell more policies. Your clients like it. They have the flexibility of knowing they can have a family member. And guess what? The carrier likes it too. So it's a win across the board, and you'll see that's built into every single OmniFlex plan. Okay. And the reason I do that is right here, you guys. This slide, I can't stress enough. We know in America, if you're on this call, chances are you already know about unpaid caregivers. They're all over America. There's different stats out there that change all the time, but there's a ton of people out there doing a ton of things to help people because they waited too long and they don't have an option to have somebody come in from outside because it's too expensive. They don't have insurance or they don't have the ability to do that. So we know there's unpaid caregivers, but look at the bottom. Even when you go into paid caregivers, you can see there, obviously homemaker and CNAs are the top for home care, but with this plan, you can see 28% of people who pay caregivers use family members, friends, or somebody from outside. So even when they're paying, they like to use it. That's why that Fast 50 is so important. So I tell people all the time, now we've only had OmniFlex out there for a year or so, and we've had our first claim, and those people chose the Fast 50. So even though they were sitting at a lower benefit amount, they decided the Fast 50 was a great way to go. Okay. Next one that's a little bit different that doesn't have, the other plans out there don't have in the short-term care, full short-term care market is the prescription drug benefit. And I'll tell you what, this is such a nice thing to have on here. I was glad we could get it through with Manhattan because you know those home health care only plans out there have this prescription drug benefit in a lot of them. And this is such a nice net premium reducer, right? Basically, if you're going to have somebody who can't get long-term care, especially, you know that they're going to be out there saying, I probably have a shoebox full of meds, right? So with this plan, you can say, hey, why don't we put you on an OmniFlex plan? And then we can take those meds that you're already on. You don't have to be on regular claim with OmniFlex. As soon as you get your plan in place, it starts. And anytime you get a new prescription or an old prescription refilled, whatever the case may be, every time it's refilled, they'll pay you this $10 for generic or $25 for brand names. Okay. The policy maximum per year is $300. And I do want to stress, we're coming up with this right now. We had one of our great agents who had a client say, well, I'm not paying for my meds. My, Humana's paying for it or somebody else is paying for it. I want to stress the fact that even though the claim form will say a dollar amount paid, you just put a 0 in that column if that's the case and show that somebody else gave you a legitimate prescription or happen to pay for it, whatever it is, you still will get the $10 or the $25. So this really is something that, remember, as few as 3 of them, if you had 3 brand name meds a year that are refilled quarterly, you'd get up to the $300 right there. So it doesn't take a shoebox full. It just takes several meds that somebody might be on. So most of you are in this in market, you know that people have a lot of meds a lot of times when they get into their 60s and 70s. So it's real easy to hit that $300 mark. So really a net premium reducer because you're getting money back, and it's really a nice way for people to feel comfortable paying for this policy. Okay. So again, we're talking about OmniFlex a lot with those last couple benefits, especially. And I want to make sure I show you that we do have a 5-year ramp up with OmniFlex, and don't turn your TVs off and hang up on me or go back to bed. I wanted to make sure you know this 5-year ramp up is not a secret, you guys. This is a secret sauce. This is the reason we can have first day cash. This is the reason we can have prescription drugs. This is the reason we can throw the underwriting net wider, because here's the way OmniFlex works. Every plan I sell, if I sell somebody a plan at $400 per day, for example, for facility, this works the same for facility and home care, by the way. But if I sold a $400 per day facility benefit, if I sell it to you today, if you were to go on claim the very first year, you would get paid 50% of whatever benefit I sold you. So if you went on claim the first year, you would have obviously $200 for that example, right? And then it goes up in equal increments until it hits the 5th anniversary, and then it pays the 100% benefit. I can't stress enough, this is not a deal killer. This is something that's still so powerful. It's why OmniFlex is so good. I'm going to show you in the next slide why it makes this such a powerful plan, because you're not selling to people who are going to go on claim in a year or two most of the time. You're looking at people saying, hey, if you're going to go on claim in the 3rd or 4th year, this plan is very, very, very competitive out in the market. Okay, so again, the way it works, I sell you a $400 per day or whatever I sell you, it starts at 50%, ramps up for 5 years, then levels off. Okay, so it'll sit at that same level, just like with Aetna, it starts at 100% and stays level. But then if you put on the inflation protection, then it starts in that 5th year and it starts growing until it doubles up here. So it'll go up as simple inflation until it doubles in the 25th year. Easy stuff. This is in every brochure. It's on your illustration on the site, etc. Make sure you tell your clients about it. Don't scare them where you forget to mention this and then they get their policy and they're bummed out because their daily benefit looks smaller the first year. It clearly shows on the policy page your first year benefit, 2nd year, 3rd year, 5th year, 6th year, etc. So it'll show it real clearly on there. So make sure you tell people and tell them not to bum out about it, because it is strong, and here's why. And again, when we talk about Aetna, you just use Aetna here. We can do this with any of the companies out there. We're not trying to say, whoa, look at how we beat it up, as much as showing you the facts. Because at the end of the day, we all know if you were to go out and sell this plan, it's about benefits and claim time. And Aetna is one of the top policies out there. And we have our agents sell a ton of Aetna plans. So we do want to just show you side by side how they stack up, so you guys can go out and help your clients make a good decision. So if I had a 65-year-old, for example, and I'm going to show you whatever age we work with, it's about the same. But if I had a 65-year-old and I sold a $200 a day full year plan, 20-day elimination, and I did a facility $200, 360, 20 days, I may change this slide in the future to 0 day because I'm starting to really believe in the power of selling first day facility too. But for this example, we're using 20-day elimination. Then I sell the top home care benefits available, right? $300 per day for a year with 0 day elimination. And down here for the Aetna, we do the weekly $1,200 a week, 52 weeks, 0 day. Okay. So if we look at just that plan at 65 years old, I cheated a little bit and I used spousal rates, okay? Because I wanted to remind people OmniFlex has a spousal discount of 10%. So if you look just at premium dollars there, you can see $19.38 for Aetna, $14.40 for a married rate. So it's 41% less premium after you use that RX, because remember I said most people will be able to use the RX. So if you use the 300, take that off there, you're at $11.40. Now you're looking at 41% less premium, 25% without the RX, just to be fair, showing it, okay? If you want me to be ultra fair, single rates, remember it's just math, right? If we don't have the 10% discount, and I'm talking to a single person, still 17.5 or 32.9% less premium. So I'm not trying to beat up at it, I'm just showing you the facts, you guys. We do have the first day cash built in, so you have $75 per day or 27,000. But remember, if I sold you $200 per day here for facility, it starts, if I go on claim the first year, it starts at $100. So if I had somebody that I absolutely had a crystal ball and I knew they're going to go on claim the first year, guess what? I'd probably say, hey, you know, even though I could save you 32% or 17% premium, that Aetna plan's pretty strong. So maybe the Aetna is a better way to go if I know you're going to go on claim the first year. But again, what do? We know we're selling these to people who aren't going to go on claim for a couple years, 3, 5, 10 years sometimes, right? A 65-year-old, it might be 20 years before they go on claim. So if they go on claim, even in the 3rd year before the OmniFlex plan is fully matured, look at how that green shifted sides, right? I can look here and say, now I'm looking at $240 per day to $171 average for 7 days. The pot of money is where it's at, right? 86,000 at 62,000. So even though I haven't fully matured, I've got a stronger pot of money on the home care and a bigger daily benefit. I've got a whopping $120 per day and 43,000 for family members. I did put the indemnity down here for those of you who want to see this slide later. You have to have indemnity benefit for hospital indemnity, so I did include that with OmniFlex to be fair. But if you look up here for the nursing home at this point, it hasn't fully matured to the full $200 yet. So Aetna beats them out a little bit there. But now at this point, 3rd year, I would be able to look at my mom or anybody I loved and say, you know what, for 32 or 41% premium savings, I'm going to take that risk that, hey, we want to be at home anyway. I think OmniFlex is starting to look pretty good. Finally, after 5 years, to me, it becomes almost a no-brainer. I'm sorry, but I'll tell you what, if you're selling Aetna out there, look across the table and say, who would you sell it to your loved one? I'm looking at this at a 65-year-old and I'm saying, you know what, 73% bigger home health care pool at the time of claim. We fully matured, so we match on the facility side. And remember, premium dollars matter today. And if I'm saving 17 to 41%, whatever it might be, that's a huge premium savings overall for all those years as well. So this looks like where it's at. We didn't put inflation on this, so 10 years would be the same as what we see with the 5 years. So again, I'm not beating that up. I'm just showing you side by side. That's what we're offering out there with these 2 plans. And that's why I'm looking at it saying, I have to show a competitive advantage. And remember, if I'm doing a 50-year-old, this isn't smoke and mirrors, you guys. Identical comparison with 50-year-old, the numbers are the same. And it actually turns out we have bigger premium savings. You can see up to 76% less premium for the younger person, more likely to go on claim in the future. So if you're out there selling to the younger ranks, these plans, that's where OmniFlex really shines, right? Because now we're out there saying, hey, chances are you won't use this plan for a long time, but when you do, this plan is going to really compete well. And again, because Aetna doesn't have inflation, I didn't show an inflation protection in here, but with that 50-year-old, look at the premium, $513 per year. After a $300 bump off that for a 50-year-old, I'm looking at $213 per year without inflation. I could throw inflation on there. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, so I'm not going to smoke you out on it. But if you threw inflation on here, it's still super affordable as far as a monthly premium goes. So it's very affordable to look at saying, we're not only going to go out and put you in a plan that's going to be less premium, but I'm going to throw inflation on there and we're going to be able to knock your socks off. Okay. So again, I can't stress enough how important it is to understand all the little niches these policies have. And you can see here, we have rate sheets out there for a 65-year-old that you can do at a glance with, we just call it option 1, 2, and 3. Again, these don't have inflation on there yet, but you can see here's where our premiums are for single or married. And you can really quickly get a glance at somebody that you're talking to. Even if you're selling other products, by the way, you can't really help but look at short-term care or extended care and know that it's an important option for your clients. So finally, I'm just going to finish up, since OmniFlex is kind of where we're favoring today because of the fact that it has some things that really stand out competitively. If you're selling it, I'm telling you, really take a closer look, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that this plan can do some good things. And again, I know they're all great plans, but dollar for dollar, OmniFlex is going to be the one you're going to look at quite a few times because of all the options that it has. So that being said, I know I'm sitting here at 34. I like to keep these under 45 minutes. So I do want to let you know, hopefully you saw today that there's some good things that we can show you. And I'm going to jump out of here before we get into this wow series, and I'm going to show you some of the things we have that'll help you out in the field. That InstaPivot tool I talked about. Now I've been on a webinar and I know everything's slower because of bandwidth, so it might be a little bit cloggy here, but I do want to show you, here's that InstaPivot tool. We have access to it right on our OmniFlex resources page. And again, I know there's a delay because we're on a webinar, but if you go to our agent corner, is where I wanted to go, on our GoldenCareAgent.com, go into our tools and you'll see here's our InstaPivot tool, here's StratDecision, you can get access to these for being a GoldenCare agent. And once you get in there, you're going to be able to see like the Instant Pivot tool, for example. Here's all the different carriers that we have. We do have several other ones, but these are the main carrier players out there. And I could show you, spend a few minutes, but I'm not going to hopefully spend too much time here. But if you can hide different policies if you want to, and I'm going to see if it's not too foggy on a webinar, I'm going to see if it'll work for me. Let's say that I don't want to show the GTL for this example for some reason. I'm going to take GTL's critical cash off there, and I'm even going to take GTL's recover cash off there. And if I wanted to do that, just because we're talking about Aetna today, then you can do that and it'll immediately hide those down here. So you'll only show what you want to show if you happen to be sharing your screen, okay? And you can get them back real easily by pushing clear. The nice part about this, I can't stress enough, if I'm in any given state and I say I'm talking to somebody in Arkansas, it'll turn green if it's available in that state. It's one of the nicest things about this tool. This is available free for you again, and it's a living, breathing tool that's always up to date, okay? So click on a state and it'll turn green if it's available in that state. So you know Arkansas, I'm looking good all the way across the board. Then the nice thing about this, really quickly, all 45 rows here show every single health condition that's in any of these plans. So if I'm talking to a client, I can go up here and say, okay, well, you buy these more with your health than you do with your checkbook. So you ask them if they have any problems, and somebody says, well, I have multiple sclerosis. So I type in MUL, and you can see it'll hide all the rows besides what the MS is. So for this example, I know in Arkansas, I can still sell them True Freedom, Manhattan Life, Aetna Home Care Plus, Manhattan Life OmniFlex Short-Term Care Plan, limited plan with $100 max. But I can do facility and home care there. Unfortunately, the Aetna or the GTL short-term care or Willoughby wouldn't be able to cover somebody with MS. So again, I'm not doing a full training on this tool today, but you can do multiple conditions. You can throw COPD up there, and you'd see that it'd pop in there and give you that option as well. It'll keep multiple and COPD, and you can see there, look for double greens, and you can see what you can offer your client. So super easy, and it's really nice. One of the things you'll love if you're Aetna, we have the full medication list, all 1,000+ meds for Aetna on there. So you can do the same exact deal with your medication list. Type in a drug, click it on there, and it'll show you which policies will accept it or not. So you want to have a nice little tool that saves you a lot of time. This is a nice thing for you that you can use if you'd like to, okay? Also, we have a full OmniFlex resource page for you if you want to get more into OmniFlex. Here's those quick glance rates. Here's a feature and price comparison. Everything you'd need to be successful out there for OmniFlex. We do have, as part of our Integrity Short-Term Care Initiative, OmniFlex is one of our proprietary products, so we do have full details on that over and above what we have for Aetna, for example, okay? So I just wanted to show you that information, show you that it's there. And again, I'm going to go back in and finish up here. But I do want to let you know that, number one, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys jumping on this call today. We do have a new series. I'm not super happy with my little face there because I never like how I look, but my team liked it because they knew I wouldn't like it. But anyway, we have it's called our WOW series, Words of Wisdom. I'll try my best to get some wisdom in there too, but this is something I'll be hosting, and I want to let you know it's not just going to be me yapping at you. I'm going to try to pull in some industry experts, pull in some specialists, and we're kind of looking forward to doing this like once per month. And it's brand new. We didn't even have this logo on for this webinar, as you know, but it's a brand new concept that we're coming out with just to really stress that short-term care, everything is lining up. I can't tell you enough. Everything's lining up that short-term care will be the product of the next several years, these extended care products. Because if you use home health care only plans in there and True Freedom, you can help just about everybody in the country, and you're going to have the opportunity because people are going to panic. I can't stress enough, when you look at the way the age curve in America and what's going on with Medicare rule changes, et cetera, you're going to see that short-term care is going to be the hottest product out there, and you can be one of the first to jump on it if you haven't already and you're on this call. So be on the lookout next Thursday, April 25th. Not next Thursday, but Thursday, April 25th at 10 a.m. Central Daylight. I have another webinar coming up, and I'm really excited about this. I've just spent a couple days rolling up the sleeves, doing some behind-the-scenes research on really some specific things that are going on with Medicare that you're going to see. Even if you're not in Medicare and doesn't have anything to do with it, your seniors are going to be. So even if you're not selling Medicare plans, we want you to know That's something that short-term care can solve, one of these biggest things out there, and several of them. And that webinar, I'm really excited. I haven't even put it all together yet, but I'm excited to tell you it's going to be one of those you don't want to miss. I think it's going to be something that's going to turn your heads and maybe give you some information that'll help you educate your clients in ways that you didn't realize before. So hopefully you can jump on that. And that being said, I'll tell you what, I've kept you long enough. I know it's 10:40 here. I do want to tell you, be on the lookout for a webinar for the 425 webinar, the next WOW webinar. And we have a great portfolio of webinars coming out. So any of our webinars you get on, we have full recorded webinars as well. Jump on our site, goldencareagent.com, and make sure you call us. I have the best marketing team out there. I'm very, all bias aside, we understand this market. We've got a lot of longevity here where people have stuck around because they know how important it is to understand their job and understand how to help you. So we've got a great team. We got some great tools over here you'll see, and you'll get these slides today that'll reinforce that for you. So that being said, this is Tom Randall again from GoldenCare. I can't stress enough how much I really sincerely thank you for taking your valuable time to jump on here and let me yap at you for a while. But again, I can't stress enough, I want you to go further. Get appointed if you're not, for goodness sake. But even if you are appointed already, take that next step and realize that we have the tools and the expertise available to help you go out there. And I tell you, America's in trouble. I'm not going to kid you. As Medicare budgets get tighter, we all know that story. We're going to have people panicking in the next 7 years going, what am I doing? Why don't I have something in place for my family or my mom and dad? This is going to be something that people are going to start leaning in more. You can see it already with periodicals that are being out there and some of the industry newsletters. This is starting to be a hotter topic. We're seeing Washington trust states. Now there's 16 other states that are looking at that to do something that's just going to make people turn their heads more often. Be on top of that, and you don't have to be an expert. We can show you how to hit the easy button and give you the tools to help you make it easy in the field. So that was that for a long thank you. But I do want to let you know, thank you so much for listening in today, and hopefully if you have any questions, we'll get those on the back end if you type in, or when our RDs reach out to you, or you can call us at 800-842-7799 and be on the lookout for that email inviting you to the next one and the email with the slides herein. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all you do. Have a great day.
GoldenCare is always here to serve you with new tools, new products, new ideas, and new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 and check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.